Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you've got Darren Little here from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada with the MLM Superheroes. And we are live right now on an international broadcast, broadcasting to all four corners of the world. Guys, this is one of the amazing things about the power of the internet. And what I want for you to really grasp today, because I'm going to go over some of these concepts in a little bit more detail, so that you can really understand how to apply these into your life, okay? Now, here's the first thing that I'm going to tell you, is that, Pat, can you just mute out your line there? We got some reverb coming back there, or put a headset on, either way, it's fine. So, you know, right now, guys, just so you understand, okay, we are on a millionaire mentoring and training session, right, with our team, right, with the iPass Profit Maximizers, with the MLM Superheroes. And right now, as we speak, okay, because I want for you to understand the concept of leverage, okay? Right now, I'm teaching people how to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes all around the world. Right now, there's clone versions of me that are teaching people how to develop a $9,000 day mindset, okay? There's clone versions of me helping people to step into their power, break through their fears through Unleash the Alpha Within. There's clone versions of me helping people to get clear on what they want and why they want it through Unstoppable Vision, right? So, and there's right now, there's clone versions of me teaching people how to use Facebook, Twitter, any type of social media to connect with prospects, provide value to the marketplace, and recruit new reps, literally, guys, and I'm not kidding you, in minutes. Right now. Okay, so you're watching me, I'm talking to you, having this conversation, but there's these other clone versions of me, right, that are teaching people all around the world. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of the internet. And if you are not using this format right here, which is called a Google Hangout, if you are not leveraging video through YouTube and then posting it onto Facebook and Google Plus and tweeting it, if you are not providing value to the marketplace and solving people's problems, you are still trading time for money in your network marketing business. Okay, so I want for you to understand the distinction between one business model over here that is still a linear type of model, right? Where you're having to do three-way phone calls constantly and home parties, right? And you never really escape it, right? It's like it haunts you. And the better that you get, the worse your life gets, okay? Until finally it just completely takes over your entire life, okay? So for me, that's where I came from. So my phone started ringing at 7 a.m. in the morning, and it didn't stop ringing until 2 a.m. the following day with three-way phone calls and people wanting me to close out their home parties, right? And because I could close people and people knew that I could, I would have my people plus their people and their people's people and their people's people all calling me to do three-way phone calls to close their people, okay? So the best possible case scenario, right, is the better you get, the worse your life gets, until eventually you completely have no life, okay? So what you've really got to understand about the power of the internet is this. If you're not creating online real estate, okay, that's providing value and solving people's problems, you are still working a linear business model, okay? Now, I will tell you this, a lot of the signups that I get, guys, a lot of the incoming phone calls that I get coming in asking, hey, Darren, what's iPass? Hey, Darren, I really want to talk to you about this business that you're doing. What is it, right? They don't even know, because that's not the attractor factor, guys, right? It has nothing to do with the business. It has nothing to do with the products. It has nothing to do with the comp plan. That's all back here, okay? The business is leadership. That's the business. So what I want for you to do tonight is I want you to do what I call a checkup from the neck up, right? and ask yourself, start asking yourself this. What did I do this week so that people out there in the world will recognize me as a leader? Okay, because if the product is leadership, and the gateway to your dream, right, is through you stepping into your power and becoming a leader, start to ask yourself these questions, because I call those income producing activities. When you are cloning yourself with a message that's going to help a person understand their mindset, when you're cloning yourself to help people understand the human condition and what holds them in place and not allows them to break free, right? Self-sabotage and procrastination and all of these things that are hindrances to us as human beings to go to that next level of our life, right? What message are you learning and then implementing and then sharing, right? Learn, implement, share, that's a leader, right? You don't have to know everything. One thing, guys, one thing at a time, right? One thing, not 100 things, one thing. So let's say that you're brand new. You've never done anything before in this industry. Today is your very first day, okay? Every day that you get up out of bed, you got to start to ask yourself these type of questions, because it's the questions that we ask ourselves that start to produce the action steps that create the results, okay? So these are some of the things that you want to ask yourself. What action step am I taking today that is cloning me, right? To create real estate online with me as the product, with me as the brand, right? Because if I'm not doing that today, I'm still on a linear income, right? I'm still required to bring in income. Unless I have made a duplicate copy of myself that is going to provide value, right? And solve people's problems. Okay, now when I talk about solving problems, what I want you to think about here is that everybody that's in the home-based business industry, typically, guys, just so you know, they're all gonna have the same problems, right? So if you say to yourself, okay, well, what problems did I have when I first started? Well, I burnt through my warm market, right? All my friends and family told me to go fly a kite, right? I was all hyped up on the business model of leverage and duplication, and everybody that I knew said, I'm not interested, right? Now what do you do, right? So leads is going to be a problem, just so you guys know. Leads, it's a problem, right? Now, a person can purchase traffic, they can go into a paid campaign, right? They can do solo ads and press releases and banner ads and, you know, retargeting campaigns. They can do blog strategies. They can get banners on other people's blogs to get more traffic. Those are paid. They can do pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click, Bing pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click. There's all sorts of different, they can go in magazines. I know some people that have had great success going in magazines, but those strategies cost money. Those are marketing and advertising budget strategies. And then there's some free strategies, right? Now, in the event that you're looking to generate leads, right, you've got to have something here that is valuable enough, right, that's going to solve a problem that people are going to exchange their email address, right, for whatever it is that you've got on the other side. I call that what's behind door number one, okay? What's behind door number one? Now, your goal needs to be able to get to know those people that are opting in, right? So, you know, talking about your vision, talking about your dream, talking about your family. So if I look at the things that have provided me with the most amount of revenue on my blog as an example, it was family. I talked about my son. That's produced over $8,000 on one blog post. The adventure, right? That was 5 enrollments in 24 hours, right? Adventure. And then the other one was vulnerability, right? Vulnerability, speaking the truth, speaking how you feel and not caring about what anybody else thinks, right? So those have been some of my personal breakthroughs. And I can tell you that those will be categories that I continue to focus on because I know that they're revenue generators, right? But if I look at my activity, okay, so here's an example. So if I go across here, across the board, you know, with Chad, with Chris, with Jessica, with Kevin, with Richard, with Stefani, and with Treyon, everybody, guys, just so you know, will be on a different level of their personal growth, okay? On a different level of their own personal advancement, their own personal breakthroughs, okay? But how many of the people are actually opening up to share their personal breakthroughs as they're going, right? That's what you got to ask yourself, because that is going to show that you're stepping into a leadership role. Does that make sense, guys? So if you're having personal breakthroughs, but you're not sharing them with anybody, the only person that can toot your horn that you're a leader and that you're stepping into your personal power and you're going to the next level and you're reading this book and you're going through this program and you just implemented this volume 3 of the Top Producer Formula, and holy cow, you had a breakthrough, and here was the breakthrough. Find out more about that on my blog. I'm going to share it with you. That's called leadership, guys. That's leadership, right? Leadership is blazing the trail with the machete so that people can follow behind you and not have to have a machete, right? So you're the one that's blazing that trail, right? So people will reach out to me and they'll say, you know, hey Darren, you know, can you just sort of like, you know, give me the one book that's going to give me all the knowledge that you have? And I go, are you for real? Like, I've been on this path for 25 years in personal development. How can I just give you one, you know, thing that's going to solve your problem? It doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way, right? It's an evolution into becoming a leader. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So what I want to, you know, have you guys do a little bit of an introspective look tonight, right? To start to ask yourself this, okay? What am I creating that's going to clone me? So here's the possible things that you can be creating, okay? A blog post is going to clone you, right? A video is going to clone you. A Google Hangout is going to clone you, right? A press release is going to clone you, right? And something on social media, to a degree, it gets buried into the news feed. And that's one of the reasons why I say to people that if you got some content that's creating some activity, whatever that is, transfer it over into a blog post so that that's going to become actual online real estate, right? Does that make sense, guys? Right? So, so what I want to do here is I want to reach out to the panel right now just to find out a little bit about this last week for you guys. I want to just focus on, first of all, what's been your biggest breakthrough, and then what we're going to do after that is we're going to go right back down the panel and I want to just focus on after that on what's your biggest marketing challenge right now, because we want to be able to address these things so that you guys aren't like in a roadblock, right? Because what I find is that if somebody is having a marketing challenge and they don't get the whole concept that this isn't about pitching, this is a leadership business model, and in order to be perceived as a leader, right, you've got to realize that you've got to start creating content that's talking about leadership stuff. Mindset, right, is a big one for a lot of people, guys. And I always say 95% of this industry is mindset, right? Mindset, your self-talk. What do you believe to be true for you in your reality, okay? So let's start here at the bottom here, and we're going to go right across the panel. Chad Turner, how are you, sir?
What's up, Darren? Doing good.
Good, good, good. Chad, you know, you've had some great success here. You know, you came out of the gate, you followed the formula with the chat. You transferred that over into Twitter, and you've now had three $3,000 days within your first 90 days. Maybe you can just share with people, have you had any sort of aha moments this last week? Have you had any sort of personal breakthroughs that you can share with the team?
I started going through more of the inner circle, and I did have kind of like a little breakthrough as far as it's going to help me on my closing with prospects. It's really simple. But like after, because I put a lot of people on the video. I mean, I put 10 to 20 people on the video a day between a lead or between personally putting them on through chat. So, and like the first thing I'll do, I'll just say, so what did you like best about the video? And then they'll come, some people, you know, will just, give something right away. Other people will just, start asking questions. And this kind of breakthrough that I got, which is really simple, I'll just say, now if I answer this question for you, will that give you enough information to get started? So I cut it down really quickly to just get what do they need to know to get started. And that's saving me a lot of time. And then another huge breakthrough I got is I'm getting more value. Providing more value out of every single conversation that I do. So I'm not wasting any time, because no matter what, I'm building the relationship. And if it doesn't turn to where I find a problem or anything, I'll ask them about their vision, and then boom, and they have to go or something. I'll say, okay, cool. Check out this video from my mentor, Darren. It'll help you with your vision and your goals in 2015. And I'll share them on Unstoppable Vision, just so I'm always constantly putting something out there that can put them on the video. So that's probably my two biggest breakthroughs.
Right on, right on. Now, guys, what I want for you to really understand here of what Chad is talking about, because a lot of times in my training, I talk about leaving behind breadcrumbs, okay? Breadcrumbs of value as a leader, okay? This is critical, because a lot of people say to me, Darren, what do you do to follow up, right? What's your follow-up strategy? Guys, to be quite honest with you, when I'm on a forward momentum roll, I don't do follow-up, right? I just leave a massive trail of breadcrumbs behind me. And I'm just posting results. Another breakthrough, another $3,000 day, another thing, another person on the team. Oh, look, Mark Clyde just hit number 6. Oh, boom, our team, right? So people get swept up into the momentum, right? So then it becomes sense of urgency and fear of loss, right? People feel like the train's already leaving the station. If they don't get on board, they're going to be left like dust on the side of the road, right? So they start reaching out to me. Hey, Darren, tell me more about that guy. Hey, Darren, what's that iPass thing? Hey, Darren, wow, you guys are really doing good. What's your secret, right? More and more people start reaching out, okay? So if you get that, guys, what Chad's talking about here, he's actually, I call this, guys, metamorphosis. Chad is metamorphosizing, right, like osmosis, into becoming a leader. You can hear it in his conviction. You can hear it in his voice, right? That's the first sign, right? Remember what I was telling you guys. Success is a radio broadcast frequency. And I will tell you this, Chad has been one of the people that has actually gone down that rabbit hole to watch a whole bunch of Millionaire mentoring on his own, guys. I didn't even tell him to do that. He did it on his own, and he got a bunch of language of questions that he went, and he started to implement that, and poof, he started getting results. So some of the stuff that Chad's talking about here is that trail of breadcrumbs. Okay, let's go over to Chris.
Hello.
Chris, how are you? So Chris, maybe just share with us, have you had any breakthroughs this week? Have you had any aha moments? Talk to us a little bit about that and where you're at right now.
Where I'm at right now is I've just started really using Twitter to talk to people and to bring people in. I actually had my first person through Twitter, my first commission today. I think she's actually watching right now. So hi, Patty. But I've just started using that. My paid for clicks, I'm still waiting for. Those should happen any day.
Okay.
As far as blogging, I've been blogging pretty much every day. If it gets too late, I think I should probably go to bed because I had to work in the morning. But I've done quite a bit of blogging as well. But that's about
Okay.
it. Talking to
Okay.
people.
One of the things, Chris, that I just want to share with you right now is that if you're working a full-time job, okay, and you are really pressed for time, okay, statistics actually show both through Google, right, and through Facebook, right, is that people are more responsive and interactive with video than they are with type. Okay, so keep that in mind because it's actually much easier to do a little quick video that'll take you 3 minutes, right? And upload that onto your blog, right? And then take your blog and put it onto your social media and tweet it. So now you've got video that's actually showing you as the leader and speaking, right? But that video, your social media sites are now driving traffic back to your blog where people are seeing the real you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's true leverage. That's what I'm talking about, you know, leveraging the power of the internet. But what's the product? Leadership. Right? Every day that you guys get up, you got to start to look in the mirror and say, I am a leader. Right? I am a leader. Right? Like what did Muhammad Ali used to say? I am the greatest. Right? He literally spoke his reality into existence. Right? That was his mantra. So what you got to understand about leadership is that if you don't believe that you're a leader, certainly nobody else will. Right? So you've got, that's what the Daily Mirror work is for. That's what some of these, the Dr. Poulos CD is for, because that's going to start to work on your subconscious mind. Right? You guys got that? Okay. So Jessica, you there? Jessica? Okay, we're going to go over to Kevin. Kevin, how are you, sir? Kevin? No. Okay, Richard, how are you, Richard? Okay, there's Richard. Yeah, you're still muted there, pal. Check the wheel up at the very top and then pick your settings for your microphone. No, still not. Okay, how about Stefani? How are you, sir? Can you unmute yourself? It's the wheel at the very, there's a microphone at the very top part of the interface. It says invite people, mute microphone, turn camera off. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can you
great.
hear me? Okay.
Okay, how do you pronounce your name?
This is Wes Murray.
Oh, okay, so it says Stefani up there. That's weird.
Yeah, it's my wife's. I happened to log in under hers.
Okay, no problem, Wes. Okay, so Wes, I know that you're sort of, you know, you're brand new. You just sort of started on this path. You know, maybe share with the people here on the panel what has been your aha moment, if you've had any. What's been your breakthrough this week?
Well, my biggest breakthrough has been I watched the video on being unstoppable, and it really got me opening up my eyes as far as what I've been paying attention to, what I've been aware of, as far as my goals in life, where I really want to be. And I realized that I've been doing things wrong for years now on what I'm focusing on and what I'm actually paying attention to. And one of the biggest things that I noticed was my vision boards. My vision boards were, you know, everything was square, everything was spread out, there was white everywhere. And, you know, after watching that video, I noticed that I've got to make it come to life. I've got to make it 3D. I've got to make it stand out. So that way it feels like I can reach out, I can touch it, I can feel it. I can now become attached to that and embody that. And so that way, after I get done looking at it and saying my proclamations and getting physical with that, and then closing my eyes and then stepping into it, I can actually feel that. I can feel that energy taking place now where I've never had that before. So.
Wow. That's like a massively huge breakthrough, guys, because here's what I want for you guys to understand about what Wes is talking about here. When I talk about making your vision board three-dimensional, right? So that, let's say that this is your vision board, it has to look like you can put your hand right through it like this and go right through it, right, in depth. Now, in order to do that, you need close cropped items in the front, and you need horizon lines far off in the distance, right? So that's why we say put the nature shots down first, but make sure there's the horizon lines, which is going to give you your depth, right? And then you're going to build up in layers, right, closer and closer to you, so that, you know, the ring, as an example, if you have a ring on there, the ring actually might be quite large, right, because it's in the foreground, whereas, you know, the sailboat, which is on the water, might be a little tiny thing like this big, right, off in the distance. So that's going to allow you to create a gateway, right? I call it opening up the matrix, right? Because you have to create a hole, right, in this reality to get into the next reality that you want to. And it's about your physiology in your body. What does that feel like in your body? So what Wes is talking about right now is that his body, right, his physiology in his body, I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about his thing with his vision board, right? This is awesome. So, but it's the physiology in your body that is your compass, right? Just like a sailboat. The physiology is your compass to get to the next level of the reality. Okay, Trayon, can you unmute? Trayon?
Hey, Darren.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Trayon, maybe you can just share with us, you know, have you had any breakthroughs this last week? Talk to us a little bit about anything that you've learned, anything that's happened that shifted your mindset. Talk to us a little bit about that.
For me, it was I was making things a little bit more complicated than it really was. I wasn't planning my days out the best that I could. You know, having a family and kids and a lot of things going on. You know, it seemed like I was being stressful trying to take care of the family and still trying to do my income producing activities. But I just had to pretty much just set schedules for myself to make sure I'm doing what I need to do and not make excuses saying, you know, I have this and I have that. But I was making it much harder than it really was. So I just decided to just, you know, calm down, take a breather, take care of the family, take care of the kids. And, you know, for the most part, just doing, you know, my income producing activities. Mine, for me, it has to be later on. You know, I was thinking, well, I got to do it during the day. I got to make sure it doesn't matter as long as it's getting done. So when I realized that, you know, my list is there. So regardless whether I send it out at 12 o'clock at night or, you know, 7 in the morning, it's still going to get done. So I just had to make sure that I did what I needed to do on a daily basis, but on my time and not stressing myself out. That was one breakthrough for me. The other breakthrough was just, you know, communicating with my list, getting better at writing content, trying to get my open rates, you know, percentage a little higher, but just engaging them. Of course, I want to keep the funnel full, but, you know, what am I doing with the list that I already have? So that was important to just, you know, engage my list on a daily basis, giving them content, giving them value, and just making sure, you know, I may get more people in which I'm doing, but what am I doing with the people that I already have? So that was important for me.
Bingo. Huge breakthrough there. Guys, what I want to share with you is this. If you look at, you know, if I break things down, right, to when I very first got started in the network marketing industry, right, and how my mentor taught me that if I could focus on the other person, right, if I could focus on their dream, their passion, their goals, their pain, right? If I could get them to identify that, it was very, very easy for me to create leverage, right? Leverage is the key to closing prospects. You got to have leverage. And if it's all about them, it's very easy to do, guys, very. So when I'm reaching out to prospects, a lot of people will say, Darren, how do you close people and get them to, go black card, right? What I do in the conversation, guys, is first of all, it's important for you to realize this. The person that asks the questions controls the conversation, okay? Number one, the person that asks the questions controls the conversation. If you want to gain control and somebody asks you a question, you answer it a question to a question and you get back control again, okay? Very important. It's critical in closing. Person asks the questions controls the conversation. Now, when I'm talking to a person, my goal is to find out where they're at in their reality right now, right? And then what do they really want? What's their vision, right? Tell me about your vision. What do you really want? Now, once they start talking about this vision that they have, right, I get them to start spending the money in the future. It's future reality. I get them to spend the money. They've already spent it in their mind, guys, okay? Whatever kind of car that they want, wherever they want to live, I'm literally taking them through visualization as I'm in this conversation with them, right? And they're in it. They're physiologically in that reality in the future when they're having this conversation with me. But what I start doing is I start asking them questions where they have to answer yes. Here would be an example. So let's say that I'm talking to Chad, and I'm going to say to Chad, let me ask you a question, right? If there was a proven formula that all of the seven-figure income earners were using that was producing $3,000 days for them, right, like clockwork, it would make sense to do the same thing as them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
I know so.
So you see how that went though? So if there was this thing, right, that you could get this type of result, right, it would make sense if you wanted to get that result to do what they were doing, right? Right? They're going to say yes, okay? So my goal when I'm in a conversation, first of all, I'm going to get you emotionally connected to your dream, but I'm going to start asking you questions, right, where you're going to answer yes to every single one after another after another. Okay, so let me understand this then, Chad. So what you're telling me is that, when you're making this, $15,000 a month, and you're living in a Honolulu in this condo, and it's overlooking the water, and you're driving this white Jeep, YJ or whatever. I'm now taking him in to this reality by me talking about it, because he's there in his mind, right? So if you had that, right, what you're telling me is that would feel pretty darn good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd feel extremely good.
Okay, now watch what happens to look at Chad's physiology as he's talking about it. He's already lighting up right here. So when I start talking about Waikiki, when I start talking about the condo overlooking the water, when I start talking about that white Jeep that I know that he wants, it starts to go over his face, right? It starts to affect the physiology in his body. Did you guys notice that? Did you see how that happened? He lit up like a Christmas tree like this. That's called connecting somebody to their dream. So once they're connected, right, all of the blockers start to come down. Okay, because what am I going to talk about next? I want to find out how serious he is on a scale from 1 to 10. But I've really painted the picture on his future reality, his future dream. So if I say to him, well, let me ask you, Chad, I mean, on a scale from 1 to 10, I mean, 10 being the most serious, how serious would you say that you are about living in Waikiki, overlooking the water, that beautiful condo, right? Making $15,000 a month and driving that white Jeep YJ and really being stepped into your personal power?
About 1,000.
Okay. Now here's the clincher, guys. I'm going to go, really? 1,000? Tell me why. 3 words. 3 words. Tell me why. Now, he's selling me on his dream. Now, in order for him to sell me on his dream, what happens? He has to get his physiology activated into his dream, right? See how that works? So now what do I have? I've got leverage, right? I've got leverage. He's tapped into his physiology, right? Now what I'm going to say to them is this. Well, let me ask you this, Chad. Do you want to get there the fast way, or do you want to get there the slow way?
Fast way.
He's going to want to get there the fast way, okay? So here's what I say next. Oh, so what you're saying then is that you would be okay making $3,000 days? That would be okay with you? Or would you just prefer $50 or $100 days?
$3,000 days.
$3,000 days, okay. So Chad, here's what I'm going to tell you. You know, I mean, I don't even know if this is the case. I'm just telling you what you're telling me. Because you're talking about the $15,000 a month, you're talking about the Waikiki and the condo and the white YJ and living your personal power, being tapped into your dream, and you're telling me you're 1,000, right? And here's what I'm going to tell you. The first step to moving to the next level of leadership is to surrender your pride and your ego and to do whatever it takes, right? To do whatever it takes to get to that next level. Would you say that you're a person like that? He's going to say, yes, I'm a person like that, right? Okay. So what I did, Chad, is I followed the 7-figure formula, right? And I went black card, right? Because that allows you to start having $3,000 days. Now, in order for you to do that, you're looking at about a $4,000 bill, right? Do you see any problem with that, or would you be able to move forward right now and take action on that? Now that's called a soft close. So I'm going to soft close him to see where he's at, because he may say, I'm in. Boom, I got a black card sale right there, right? But that's called a soft close. I can now get a temperature gauge, right? But I've got all that leverage, guys. Remember how much leverage I've used, right, to get all the information. So here's what I can say. Let's say that he goes, oh, man, I could never come up with that. I could never come up with that, right? So here's what I'm going to say. Chad, let me ask you a question. Let's say that, you know, you're in a situation where, you know, tonight at 11 o'clock midnight, you get this call from the doctor, from the hospital. And he says, you know, I got some good news and I got some bad news, right? Good news is your parents are still alive. The bad news is they were in a head-on collision and they're in critical condition right now, right? And it's going to cost $10,000 to get them into surgery within the next 48 hours, or they're going to die. Now, do you think that you'd be able to come up with that 10 grand? It totally changes the perspective, guys. Totally. So what I say is this. When you have that type of conviction about your life and your family, where you do about getting that 10 grand to save your parents, that's when you're going to be successful. Now, here's what I will tell you. If I came over to your house right now, I could probably walk through your house. The first place I'm going is to your jewelry case, because there's probably gold, diamonds, bracelets, watches, a bunch of stuff that's collecting dust that you don't use that could easily be liquidated to get the cash to launch your business. I know that there's TVs in your place that are keeping you broke and electronics that are keeping you broke right now that you could liquidate. I know that if I walk through your closet, you've got stuff in there that's hardly even being worn, that doesn't even fit you anymore. You could liquidate that stuff right now and get that cash for your business. You could also get a loan. You could also put it on your credit card, and you could also surrender your pride and your ego and go to your parents, right? Those are all the options. It starts to get that person's mind going. Now, here's what I will tell you. There's been people on this team, guys, that are currently Black Card members that told me on their first conversation that they were flat broke, that there's no possible way that they could come up with the money, and 3 weeks later, they went Black Card. How's that possible? How's that possible? It's possible because I got them emotionally connected to their dream. And when that happens, guys, something magical happens. It's called manifestation. Okay? It's called manifestation. Money starts showing up out of nowhere. People get checks that, you know, they overpaid on a thing, or, you know, some company sends them $1,000. They're like, what the heck? Well, oh yeah, you bought something from us and it had a defect and we sent everybody $1,000. I've seen the most bizarre things take place from that. So keep that in mind, right? But you have to believe, okay? So I've had a situation just recently where somebody on the team was talking to somebody else. They were already in, right? And they were saying they didn't have any money, blah, 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 blah. That person reached out to me. This happened a couple days ago. I got into a conversation off of Facebook, right? Why do I want to do that? Why do I want to take the person off of Facebook? The first thing that I say is, what phone number you're at? What phone number you're at? It's much easier to chat by phone. Now, why do I want to do that? Because this is an energy portal. And I can hear modalities in their voice to understand their blockers, where they're at on that time continuum, right? So if I can get them on here, right, and have a conversation versus a conversation, big difference, okay? So I got the person emotionally connected to their dream, and here's what the interesting thing was. He surrendered his pride, he surrendered his ego, he's getting a loan from his parents, and he'll be Black Card in 2 days. True story, okay? A week earlier said there's no possible way he could come up with the money, right? Then, you know, just a couple days ago, yeah, no problem, he's going Black Card, right? That's what can happen, guys, when you use this strategy. Okay, so let's now talk about marketing challenges. Who's going through a marketing challenge? If so, what is it? Let's deal with it right now. Anybody? Okay, Pat, we're just talking about marketing challenges. Is anybody right now having any challenge in the area of marketing to understand about creating value, solving people's problems, and also the bridging over to lasso the people over, you know, where you're talking about some problem, lassoing them in, right? Feel, felt, found. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. Here's what I did about it. And here's where I got the solution and what's behind door number one, where you can get the answer. Right? Does that make sense, guys? Does everybody have that sort of formula down about, you know, problem? Is anybody going through this problem, right? Or does anybody want to know how I did this with the results, right? Does anybody want to know here how I learned how to generate X amount of leads per day consistently on Facebook or Twitter or blah, 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 right? If I get 40 likes, I'm doing a webinar, right? Then what do? You have a lead capture page, right? And you go back to that list of all the people that hit the like button or commented, and you go, hey, you know, Tom, I just want to let you know I finished the training on that concept that I was talking about. Here's where you can get it. That's how you get 100% opt-in rates, guys, just so you know, right? That's how you get 100% opt-in rates, okay? You have a problem, right, or a solution to a problem. You get X amount of activity. You update the people when it's going to come out. You do a little screen capture page using Google Hangout or a ScreenFlow, right? You send it to David. David puts it up on a page for you. You put a lead capture page in front of it, right? You get some code from either GetResponse or Aweber or whatever. Now you've got an opt-in, right? You talk about the solution to the problem, where they can get it, they opt in, now they watch your training. That's how you get a 100% opt-in rate, because you already have the audience that wants access to the training, right? Make sense? And now you send them a link and say, here's where you can get that training. Here's where you can get access to watch it. And every single person opts in to watch the training, right? Pretty cool concept, right? Okay. So, Chris, any marketing challenges at all that you're going through? Anything that you have questions about in the area of marketing that we can share to help?
I missed the last probably 2 minutes of the thing you froze up on me. But as far as marketing challenges that I have, it's just finding the value to give people right now. Being fairly new, I don't have a whole lot of value that I can just come up with that I don't think that people already know.
Okay, so that is called a limiting belief, and you're going to have to break that, because you, in our bonus section of our team, have $3,000 worth of value that's sitting there, that all you've got to do is put /? ID equals in your username, and you've got how to recruit new reps in 6 to 45 minutes, how to develop a 9K day mindset, you've got Unleash the Alpha Within, Unstoppable Vision, you've got, you know, all of this stuff that's back there, that it doesn't have to be you, it just has to be valuable, that's going to help a person. Does that make sense?
What I made out of what you just said, yeah.
Okay. Am I cutting in and out?
Yeah, really bad.
Okay. Am I cutting in and out for everybody else here?
It's fine for me.
Okay. It could be just the flow of your internet there. Okay, so basically what I said was that our team, take the onus off of you and put it onto the whole team. Okay, so Chad Turner has had three $3,000 days. That's news. Okay, we've had 6 people on our team in the top 100. That's breaking news, guys. For anybody that's out there, right? Imagine if you were on a team that had weekly millionaire mentoring that could help you to step into your power as a leader, right? And lock arms with you and hold your hand all the way through the process. Do you guys realize how much value that really is, to be able to have access just to this, right? If I get on one of these with a person that you know says, Darren, you know, can you do a private coaching session with me? They pay me $300, guys, just to get on and do a little session like this. So what you got to understand is that the reason that most people fail with this type of a business model is they don't have this. They're lone rangers trying to figure this out all on their own. They don't have a team. They don't have interaction like this, right? They don't have the ability to rebound off each other and find out about each other's breakthroughs. Here's what I will tell you guys. This is quantum physics stuff. Do you know that when Chad Turner talks about his breakthrough, there's a ripple all the way down this whole line with every single other person in their DNA of their body? A ripple, right? So if somebody opens up and they're willing to talk about their life and go back into their time continuum and talk about something that where they were vulnerable, or a breakthrough that they had, or something that they recognized in the past, right, about their parents or about something that their dad said, do you realize as they're telling their story, right, your physiology in your body, your cells, that person's story is communicating with the cells in your body, and you're having some breakthrough at the same time. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal stuff, guys. That's the power of a team. That's the power. If you have a football team, they can't even play a game all alone. It's not possible. They can't be the quarterback and play the whole game, right? They need all the rest of the people on the team, and together they become powerful. right? So if you look at elementary schools as an example, or high schools or whatever, when people start to form these little posses or they start to form a gang, and you take one of those little kids out on his own, and they're like a scrawny little kid, maybe they're skinny or whatever, and they don't have any muscles, but I'll tell you what, you put them together in a gang, and they're a force to reckon with. People now you got some fear going on. Does that make sense? Together as a unit, they've got this, euphoria power, but you separate them from the gang and they don't have power at all, right? You guys notice that? That's what we're talking about here. So, Kevin, any marketing challenges that we can talk about here with you?
Probably just getting traffic in general to my website, and as far as conversions go, I'm not really doing very well in that area either. But yeah, I'm working on my email marketing, emailing what leads I do have. I did have a little bit of a breakthrough as far as open rates go, but other than that, I'm still going through different training and working on the mindset and stuff like that, mirror work, and all those types of things. But yeah, mainly traffic, I'd say.
Okay, so what you may want to try there, just because of the software that Chad has, that at least allows you to get the most amount of potential people that are sold on a particular business model in a specific demographic already. Chad's had great success with that. The other thing that I will tell you as well is with your actual content, right? In the event that you're providing content that has value, right? So today I did a video, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, where I was talking about the one pinnacle thing that can totally transform your business. Did you guys see that video that I did? Okay. That is called speaking to the listening, right? Who are the people that I want to attract? I want to attract the people that resonate with that already understand everything that I'm saying in that video, but they're in transition, in between companies. Their company may have just changed their marketing plan. They may have been in a situation where, when a company changes their marketing plan, just so you know, the top people get a 50% chop in their income. So I'm targeting people that are leaders or on the verge of stepping into a leader, where they watch that video and they go, oh, I get it now. I get it now. Okay, so here's what happened when I put out that content. My Facebook with incoming started to light up from people in other companies that aren't quite making the type of money that they want. I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about here, because I'm telling you, if you get this, it'll take your marketing to a whole different level, okay? I decide who it is that I want so I can speak to that person, speaking to the listening, okay? And I'm looking specifically for a leader that's in a state of transition. They may have reached a breaking point where they're like, they're putting in all this work in three-way calls and home parties and three-way calls and home parties, and they're still only making like $2,000 a month, right? So they're frustrated. They're looking for that opening. They're looking for that gateway, right? And when I say something in that video, it goes bing, and they realize what the breakthrough is. And they reach out on their own, guys. They reach out, okay? Now, here's what I will tell you. Always remember, if you're going to do video, you've got to do this, right? What's behind door number one? Tell your story and then loop back around and have a place where they can get more. If you forget this part on the end, you will not be building a list and you will not be doing autopilot signups. Okay, people will just come and go, hey, great video. Oh, okay, cool. right? And off they go to watch something else, right? So if you're not directing them into the place where you want them to go, right? So that you're either feel, felt, found, or, have you ever had this situation happen to you in your life? Well, I know exactly how you feel, right? I felt the same way. Let me tell you a story of what happened to me. But here's what I found. What I found was what I really needed was something that was going to clone me. What I really needed was something that was going to provide me with leverage. They could work for me while I was sleeping. They could work for me while I was at my other job. That's what I needed, right? And what I found was this completely automated system, right? And if you want to find out how it's completely changing my life, opt in here. Take the online tour now, right? That's the full circle, right? If you're not doing that closing part, guys, no leads, you won't be generating anything and it won't be happening, right? So you got to think about that in your marketing. Are you speaking to the listening? Are you stepping into a leadership role and owning your personal power, guys? Owning your personal power, right? That's when you draw a line in the sand and you're ready to go out there and just do it. So here's the other thing that I will ask you guys, okay? Because I'm going to show you here a little snapshot, because a couple of days ago we talked about PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys right now. Now, this isn't even finished, but I want to give you an idea. I just want your minds to start to work. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so these are some things that I'm working on right now, but I want to give you an idea so that your mind can start to think about some things. Let's go into slideshow from the start. Okay, so this is the campaign that I'm putting together for a lower demographic. This particular campaign here is going to be designed for more blue-collar workers and people that are maybe a secretary, or they work at they're a forklift operator or something like that. Students that don't have a lot of money. The entry price into this particular promotion is actually going to go directly into Promote Empower Network. Okay, so the thing that people have to do if they want to step up to freedom and turn their passion into profit, they need to step up into their personal power and step up into leadership, right? So the whole thing is based upon leadership, right? And I'm going to talk about the difference between the worker bee network marketing model, which is three-way calls and home parties, to the real estate leveraged leadership model where you're providing content to the marketplace. So personal branding, right? So this particular slide is just kind of more of a spoof, right? But I've done this specifically for impact of branding. Okay, so what's the next one? So now it becomes into the real world. Now, this I had made, right? This template around the outside I had made. David made me this template. And this step up to freedom and these cars, right? That's a template now. So all I'm doing is I'm working on this section that's in here, okay? So here's the bonus. Stick around to the end of the presentation, get a $297 bonus just for showing up. No purchase is necessary. This gets people to watch my whole presentation, okay? What's next? What is the real product in network marketing and direct sales, okay? Leadership. And I talk about the whole concept of how if you want to be a leader, content changes everything, okay? So these will come on one at a time. So I'll use the animation feature, so it'll be content, and then changes, and then everything. And notice how I've got it like it's little stairs, right? That's subliminal. That's all subliminal stuff about going up these steps, Okay, so if somebody wants to be a leader, they've got to provide value and solve people's problems. Now, how are they going to do that? You have to have a central hub to be able to provide value to the marketplace, right? Now, I'm figuring out how I'm going to explain this. It's either going to be, this little, step up to the top, step up there. Because once you're at the top producer formula, just so you know, it gets a lot easier. Like you're kind of going down the stairs, but you're making way more money, right? So the blog, this is going to be, hold on a sec. The blog here is going to be $44.95 with the affiliate package. And that's going to show them if that's all that they were doing. So I'm going to take $8,333 a month divided by $17.50. Okay, they would need a team of 476 people here if that's all they did. But how do you want to make less work for yourself? Well, you could put a few people together that want to step up to freedom and then step up, make enough money here to step up to the millionaire mindset with the inner circle, right? All about your mind power. So then they can take $83.33 and divide that by $87.50. Now they only need a team of 95 people. 95, okay, if they're right here. They only need 95 people on their team in order to make $8,333 a month. So now I go, okay, one level of your business is 95 divided by 3. They only need a team of 31 people and help them get qualified with 5. What happens, though, if they get this training, right? If they get this training here, this is now going to allow them to start to have $350 commissions. Now, they come one at a time, right? But this is going to be their base foundation, and they're going to learn the information here that's going to propel them fast track into 6 figures. So keep in mind, a lot of the people that came thinking about this $44.95 are now thinking about the pinnacle point. That this, all they got to do is come out with the $500 for that product, plus obviously these two, right? And that's going to be the breakthrough for them. You see how just creating little tiny diagrams like this and breaking it down for people so that they can see it visually and know how many people they need on their team, how many people they need here, how many sales they would have to make. So here's an example. So let's say that I take $83.33 and I divide that by $350. So between me and my team, if we brought in 24 people at top producer, I could double my income from $83.33 to $17,000, right? 17 grand by bringing in 24 people at top producer level. When you start to break things down for people like this, I'm telling you what, guys, they start dreaming way bigger because it's something to look at that's visual. And most people don't break this stuff down. I understand psychology. That's why I do this type of stuff, okay? Now, if you look at the next slide, it's just a blank. So as I'm building this, and I would say that if you're not using PowerPoint, if you have not, taken the initiative to say, okay, I better start to learn how to use PowerPoint if I'm going to be a leader. This is like high on the priority list, guys. I'm not joking here. Okay, you really got to ask yourself, do you want to make $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month? Because if the answer is yes, make this numero uno priority to learn how to do this. Okay, so I go insert, text box, and I just go like that. And this right now I can just type in, right? The next step, right? So, and then I can just highlight it and pick what size that I want, in my fonts. I can make that 72 point, and I can pick a font here, and I can make it this condensed font, right? And then I can move it around and pick out where I want it. It's really, really super simple. I mean, it's probably the easiest program. Now, keep in mind, I didn't do these graphics. I had David do them, right? So that's called outsourcing and leveraging the talent of other people, right? And most of these images, guys, just so you know, I get from Google Images. Google Images. I just go into Google and I typed in leadership, right? This was one of the images that came up when I typed in leadership. I went and I typed in blogging, and I saw what cool images that they had there, and I pull these images. Now, when this is all animated and everything, and I put animation to it, and then I do a presentation, and then I turn it into a recording, and now I can have people opt in and watch that recording while I'm sleeping. This right here, guys, is how you can create automated signups and be the person in the brand, right? So you're a guy there. If somebody opts in to watch how they can create a six-figure income with $44.95, they're going to be watching me for 1 solid hour, right? Plus, I'm going to give them value all the way through this about talking about quantum physics and mindset and all sorts of stuff. So if you really can see the power of this, and this is more of what I call the special sauce, because once people see stuff like this start to convert, they want to be on your team so they can get this too. Does that make sense? You guys there?
We're here.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, hopefully that sort of opens up your thought process here. What I will tell you is that if I look back at my career and understanding of this type of a business model about the online stuff, quite honestly, guys, and I'm just being completely honest here with my vulnerability, is it wasn't until I did that stuff that I saw massive change in my business, where my recruiting went like this. Now, why is that? Because people would be surf, 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 surf. Oh, what's that? Click. As soon as they click that, they are going down a rabbit hole. Literally, there's no way that they can get out. Once they've listened to me for 5 minutes, they're going down a rabbit hole, right? And a lot of times what happens is people will message me and they'll say, Darren, I just want to let you know, I spent the entire weekend watching your Millionaire mentoring. I spent the entire weekend going through a bunch of your training I found on YouTube, right? That's what happens, guys. Okay, now keep in mind, all that value that's in Top Producer Formula, all the value that's in Team Builder Formula, all the value that's in our bonus training, you've got to ask yourself, okay, what was my personal breakthrough? What was my big takeaway? And how can I do a little presentation to share that with the world, right? That's what gets you seen as a leader, right? So if you're doing those little action steps and coming out with a little half-hour thing of what you've learned and posting it on your blog and posting it on your Facebook, guess what magically happens? Your phone starts lighting up. Is it a coincidence? No. This is a leadership business model. Does that make sense? So what are you going to do? You're going to watch some of the training and you're going to say, okay, what did I learn and how can I create something out of that? Right? How can I create a little PowerPoint presentation, a little screen share, a video of my breakthrough? What can I do to share what I have learned with the world? That's called leadership, guys. That's leadership, right? And if you're not doing that, people will not perceive you as a leader. Sorry to say, bottom line. So you can either break through your fear and step into your power and be okay if you trip. Be okay with it. Is everything that you do going to be, amazing? No. I mean, if you guys go onto YouTube and you see some of my very first videos, and quite honestly, when I look at them now, I mean, they're like shockingly embarrassing right now, right? But I followed the formula of the 7-figure mentors. You know what they told me? Never take those down. Never, ever take your first videos down, because people are going to see you now and they're going to see that video and go, holy crap. Is that the same guy? Right? That's what happens. Because they're witnessing your transformation, and they realize that you went through the exact same things that they're going through. You went through the exact same fears to step into your power, and now you're there. So they've got some reference material that you're just like them. How about that? They might have this, illusion of this persona thing, but when they see you back in the state of vulnerability, when they see you back in your first videos, I will tell you this, guys. I don't share this very, very often, but I'm going to tell you guys this tonight. When I first started doing video, okay, I'm going to show you my very first video camera, okay, my very first. Okay, this is my very first video camera, okay? My very first video camera, okay? And you could hold it like this, right? As you're videotaping, like this, right? I was so nervous and I was so paranoid, right, about my own vulnerability, right, that I would walk around the basement in my parents' house. I would walk around in circles. They've got quite a large basement that, I could, hold the camera out here and then walk around the outside circumference of the room, okay? If I wasn't walking to do my videos, at all these, like, I felt like, nervous. I had all this nervous energy inside me and whatnot. I couldn't, if I wasn't walking, I couldn't do the video. I had to be walking around in this big circle, okay? Then I graduated to doing screen share. That's why I share some of this stuff with you guys on how to fast track yourself into leadership. I started doing screen share, right? So I got a software where I could just share my screen. I'd say I want to focus on this area, and I would tape myself. You wouldn't see my face, you would just hear my voice. And I would surf through pages and whatnot, surf through the internet. Then I moved from that to doing videos in my car. Okay, so what I would do is I would rest my hand on the dash, and I'd be driving, and I would wear sunglasses so you couldn't tell that I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking straight at the road, but the illusion was that maybe I was looking at the camera. You couldn't see my eyes, okay? So I would do these videos while I was driving. Hey everyone, blah, 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 right, as I was driving, right? And then I graduated from that to doing some Google Hangouts, and now it's no big deal. Now if I want to cut a video, if I'm on vacation or I'm here or there, whatever, it's no big deal. I just put the camera out, okay? But trust me when I tell you guys, it wasn't like that when I started. Now, how did I get through that? Now, some of the people that we've got here, like Pat McKeon as an example, guys, is a natural. And Richard is a natural on video. They're just natural. Some people are just born naturals, okay? Pat and Richard are born naturals, okay? The rest of the people I haven't seen on video yet, so I have no idea. All I can do is share with you my personal story. Quite honestly, was a complete gong show on my evolution to get to here. My personal evolution to get to here right now. Guys, I'm telling you this. It was the fear into the power. It really, truly was. I'm not BSing here, okay? Literally, I walked around in circles like this in my parents' basement with this camera, right? And then I graduated from this to a flip camera, and then from that just to my phone, because they made them so easy to use now, right? You can just film a video anywhere, and you can upload it directly to Facebook, and you can upload it directly to YouTube, right? So anyway, Chad Turner, any closing thoughts?
Well, it was a great call, a lot of value, and yeah, just happy to be on the call and look forward to seeing some of the team in Nashville this weekend.
That's going to be exciting. I'm actually flying in on Wednesday. I'm going a little bit earlier. Registration is Thursday. The event's Friday, Saturday. If you've got a VIP ticket, Sunday. I highly recommend that if you don't, that you should upgrade to get that. Reason being is this: you'll be hanging out with all the top income earners. On all the breaks, you'll be in the VIP lounge, meeting with all of the peak performers of the company. One conversation, guys, one conversation with a peak performer can totally change your life forever. 5-minute conversation, right? One book that they've read, one thing that they've done. What was their breakthrough point? What was their turning point of their business and mindset? One exchange like that can put you on a completely different path forever. So I highly recommend getting the VIP ticket to that particular event. Chris, any closing thoughts?
No, there isn't really. You've given me a little bit of homework here to do as far as the self-defeating mindset, and I need just to continue with the mirror work and eliminate all that.
You know, guys, what I'm going to tell you, what Chris is talking about here really is the human condition, and it's the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang. Here's what I can tell you. If you get into a state of where you feel almost like you're in euphoria, okay? Mark my words, and you won't know this until it happens to you a couple of times. The universe has to rebalance itself. Okay? It's the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang, the yin and the yang, right? So what happens is you will go through what's called a crash. Now, when you go through a crash, you can be completely flatlined. Like you can't get out of bed. It's hard to even move. And you literally feel like you're in a state of depression, right? Now, the higher that you go, the deeper that you can fall. Just remember this. The higher you go into euphoria, the deeper you can fall down that rabbit hole. And I've seen some people, guys, just so you know, that can fall down so far that they actually have to go on antidepressants to get themselves back out, okay? So be aware of that. If you start going up too high, you better get yourself to the forest. You better start hugging some trees. I'm not joking when I tell you this, okay? Very serious stuff here, guys, okay? Kevin, any closing thoughts?
Just like everyone else is saying, just everyone being here together and sharing the value and, you know, hearing about the mindset and everybody's breakthroughs. It motivates. It gives everybody motivation. And that's about it. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody this weekend as well. So everybody have safe travels.
Pat McKeon, are you there? Okay, Richard, you there?
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
He's there. He's there.
All right. Again, always great training, good content. So I'm going to work on my PowerPoint and going to bridge, as you and I talked earlier today, instead of just sharing good content. I need learning how to bridge it, because for the past, I would say 4 or 5 years, that's all I did was share good content. I didn't have a bridge. Now I have a bridge. So now I'm learning how to bridge, and I believe that I'll have the breakthrough that I'm looking for. So just learning how to bridge with the content that I'm sharing.
Fantastic, fantastic. Wes, any closing thoughts?
Biggest closing thought for me is just letting go of my ego, releasing it. And I love the fact that we can come together and that I can hear from other people, understand that I'm not here on my own, that I can learn from other people, see what they're doing, and use it for my own.
Fantastic. And guys, this is a real big breakthrough that I want to share with you that I had from Tracy Walker. And Tracy Walker is on another team, right? She's one of the Millionaire income earners. And she said, she got up on stage and she said, you know what, when we were in school, when you copied somebody, they called that cheating, right? But in business, they call it masterminding. And that one thing, guys, right? That's why I say that there's so much power to being at the event. Because if I wasn't I'm getting goosebumps like this. my hair's standing right up on end, thinking about me being in that auditorium and where I was sitting in that, room looking up on stage and hearing those words delivered to me. In school they called it cheating, in business they call it mastermind. And that was like, oh, ripples went through my whole body. And I realized, guys, there's nothing new in marketing. You've just got to opt into a bunch of peak performers and find out what they're writing and copy their copy. Why do you want to reinvent the wheel when almost all of it's already been done for you, right? So don't think that you've got to be a master of all trades. Piggyback off of everybody else, guys. Find out what Aaron Rashkin's doing. Log into Tracy Walker. Read David Wood's posts, right? Find out what people are doing to get an audience, right? And just copy it, tweak it a little bit, change it to be your life, right? Read theirs as the baseline, copy it over, and then just retweak it so it's talking a little bit about you. Put your links in, boom, send it off, right? So easy. Trayon, any personal breakthroughs here?
Darren, for me, just like Chris talked about, I was limiting myself, and I'm thankful that I'm able to leverage the group. I also got a lot of nuggets from tonight. This was great content, things that I really needed to hear as far as the bridging and the lead pages, because I was sort of confused a little bit about it. I understand it, but I think I was trying to go a long route around about trying to figure it out. But just hearing you, put it all together, I think I can bridge that gap and put out a little bit more viable content and just keep the people in the funnel and giving them what they're looking for.
Okay. So guys, what I want to share with you here in closing is that there's this funnel thing there that's going to be automated sales for you, okay? Your goal in the front, your goal is to create intrigue, to create mystery, and for people to really be listening and going, I want what you have. What's that thing? What is that thing that they don't know, right? What is that thing? They can't put their finger on it. What is that thing? The only way they can get it, back there, what's behind door number 1? The only way that they can get your secret sauce is to lock arms with you and become part of your team. That's called leadership, guys. That's called leadership. And there's a reason that I come up with these little gimmicks, okay? Step Up to Freedom, Manifestation Magic, the Academy of Quantum Physics, Mind Mastery, Unstoppable Vision, Unleash the Alpha Within. Why do I do that? I do that for a reason, because nobody else has it. So everybody else is going, I pass, I pass, I pass, I pass, I pass, empower network, and I'm going, guys, you want the gateway? Step Up to Freedom for only $44.95. Now it's a whole different deal. But what are we marketing? We're marketing iPass and Empower Network. But people are hearing about this thing, the special sauce, right? They're hearing about the quantum physics training. I get people from other teams asking me how they can get the quantum physics training. Darren, I'm already with iPass and I'm already on this other team, but I really want to get access to your quantum physics training. How do I do that? That's called the special sauce, guys. That's the important part. So what I would encourage you guys to do is start to think about the same thing. Realize I'm doing all this stuff for the team, guys. And I'm taking the hit here for the team. Because this is stuff that we all can use, right? Chad right now has made his expertise in Twitter, right? I still haven't seen any branding on that yet though, Chad, right? And that's your special sauce, but you're, I don't know, you're kind of avoiding it or something. And that could be the final step of jumping into a leadership role, and you're still facing some of your fears there, right? It's normal. Don't think that it's, a bad thing, because it's a normal evolution, right? Richard right now is ready to step up, right, into his PowerPoint and something, some special sauce. Trayon, from the call that you and I had the other day, I would say that you're very close as well, right? To understanding, first of all, what I'm talking about, but being able to implement it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Guys, just so you know, everybody is going to be at different levels of skills, right? Everything that I'm talking about here, they are all learned skills. But keep in mind, guys, okay, keep in mind, you're going to be dealing with the human condition, right? That's what Justin Bieber's going through right now, the human condition. Deservability, worthiness, self-love, boundaries. You're going to face your fears. Be okay with it. Say to the universe, bring it. I'm ready. I'm ready to face my fears. I don't care, whatever I got to do, whatever it takes to go to the next level, I am ready. Bring it, right? And push yourself outside your comfort zone, right? Here's the interesting thing, Chad. You've probably been ready for at least 3.5 weeks, maybe 4, okay? But I don't know if you've done a photo shoot, which you could literally just do with your camera. I've done all my photo shoots with my camera that are used by David. Okay, I haven't gone out and spent any money on a photographer. Everything that I've done has just been with this here, right here, right? Boom, angle, 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 right? All with this, okay? So I didn't use any special photography. And David did his magic after that. So I outsourced. Same thing with Step Up to Freedom and Manifestation Magic, all of that stuff though, but it doesn't take a long time. Within a week, certainly on the outside, your branding can be done for your tweet product, okay? So you wanna, move this along here because you don't want it to keep on going forever and not have that. Do it while it's fresh. You've got the skills. If you start moving away from the skills into other stuff, you're gonna lose your edge. Does that make sense? You want to be doing that and doing the recordings when you're actually getting signups and people are watching it live going, holy cow, this guy's got the real deal. Because they're seeing you actually get signups live, right? That's what's going to take your value like that into the marketplace. Does that make sense, Paul? Make sense? Yeah? Okay. Okay, guys, so you've got Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and we are live right now. We're going to wrap up for tonight. What I would encourage you to do is this. If you're a person right now that's in either a transition in your life or you've reached what's called a breaking point, right? You just can't take it anymore, right? You're tired of not getting paid what you're worth. You know you're worth way more than what you're getting paid at your job, or you're in between careers. You could be with one network marketing company and they changed their marketing plan and you lost half your pay. And you're like, what the heck? This is total crap, right? And I'm not going to stand for this, right? You want to get with a team that can provide you with the support system in place so that you can take your life to a whole different level. I would encourage you, if that's you and you're watching this right now, guys, really, it's $7 for a 7-day trial. So you can go right in behind the scenes and see this stuff happening live so that you can go through the entire system, right? From end to end. See why there's so much incredible value in this program that we offer, and that's why we do this. That's why we give you an opportunity to see it all, right? For 7 entire days for $7, okay? Click the link below, fill out that form, and we'll see you on the other side. My name is Darren Little here with the MLM Superheroes, and I look forward to meeting you in person one day, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Bye for now.